Real world implications. We're all adults.
Real world
now.
Denver.
Real world Denver.
Yeah, real world Alabama.
I'm Connor.
Which podcast is this? It's 81?
80.
80?
Damn.
Oh,
That's
I'm
it.
Connor. Welcome to Podcast 80.
I'm Maddie.
I'm Alex.
I'm Maddie.
I'm Alex. It seems like we're
I'm mad.
Okay, yo, you know how this week was like the anniversary of Challenger exploding? Like,
It was the anniversary of 9/11.
I'll never forget, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of before when we
I
were
laughed so
alive,
hard.
but you know how one of the things that they did, like one of the people who died
Like
in
mentally
the
challenged.
explosion was a teacher, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Julie
What-
something.
What,
right?
like scraps fell to the ground and just crushed a teacher?
No.
No, she was in the spaceship. One of the because like
They were gonna send Big Bird.
after they landed on the moon in 1969, nobody really cared about space travel anymore. So one of the things they were trying to do was get people excited about space again.
Yeah.
So they're just sending, like,
So they're
random
gonna
people.
they're gonna send a
Against
teacher.
their will.
She wanted to go, but they sent this teacher up into space, and like kids
Well, they
around,
tried to send
around
you to
America
space.
wanted to like they all tuned in to watch and stuff because it's like, yay, there's a teacher going. But originally, instead of a teacher, they were gonna send the actress who played Big Bird.
Yeah.
So Big Bird almost exploded while going to space.
It's like
the
it's good.
craziest thing.
I mean, the teacher dying is pretty bad, especially for all the kids. Like, oh, go teacher.
Yeah,
But I guess Big
but
Bird's
it's
worse.
heartbreaking. Like, holy
Big
shit.
Bird.
That would be insane. And the only reason she didn't go was because there was like a scheduling conflict. She was like busy filming TV or something.
Yeah, sorry, I can't go to space
Hey,
right now.
I can't go to space,
I got
I
a meeting to go to.
Would they have like had the Big Bird costume?
No,
on?
absolutely not.
It's kind of an astronaut outfit itself.
They probably would be able to take the
sure.
costume
They
off
could
of them, for sure.
They'd have
And
to
then
be a
maybe
normal
they're
astronaut
custom-
thing.
Astronauts
You know what?
have to fit over Big Bird.
Big Bird would have been fine because he would have fly out of the wreckage.
Big
Like,
Bird
he's like
can't
a big
fly. It's a
chicken.
flightless bird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What? What kind of
quite
bird
big.
is Big Bird?
It's a big bird.
Big Bird.
It's a penguin.
No, it's a big
It's a
bird.
big yellow like chicken or
It's a
something.
bird. It's a
Yeah,
big
chickens
bird.
can
Yeah,
glide.
bird.
Chickens
It's
can
a
glide.
human inside.
glide. That bird could glide. Like maybe straight down.
That's
But
also
humans
real
can glide
sad
too.
too.
Yeah,
How like
you know.
they like analyzed the amount of oxygen that was used up, and it's like, oh yeah, they didn't die in the explosion. They died when they hit the water
Oh,
after they
man.
exploded in space and then fell and then died.
That's morbid.
Really?
Mhm.
So they weren't like cooking?
Were they like trapped in there and just?
Yeah,
breathing?
they were just like in there being like, oh shit,
going
something
to
was
die.
wrong, but they didn't know that the thing
Wait.
exploded.
Hold
right?
on, so they weren't dead until they hit the water?
Yeah.
Challenger exploded like at launch.
Well,
We're
it was
talking
like
about Challenger.
in the
It was
sky.
Challenger
Sky.
blew up way up in the
It was
Yeah.
a re-entry, I thought.
Yeah.
Well, Columbia was on re-entry.
Columbia's re-entry.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
I
That's
mean,
right.
there's so
Challenger
many
doesn't wanna-
terrible explosions.
Well, those are the
in
two
space,
worst, I
but-
think.
Yeah.
Columbia
But
and Challenger are the two worst.
I don't get it. Like, first of all, I thought they would have died for sure, but
No,
then even
because-
more so, couldn't they just kind of dive into the water, like even with that much speed?
What are you
I
talking
don't
about?
know.
Well,
They
they
were
went
up
into-
they
They were in the
space,
capsule.
almost
like
in
this.
space.
Right?
Yeah,
So it's
man,
like,
they
Then
were
they're in the
so
capsule. No,
high.
the capsule.
You die.
can't
if
get out of the
You
capsule.
die if you fall out of like a second-story
Okay,
building
you
wrong.
dive.
Like they were
Meanwhile-
almost in space.
Meanwhile, I was got a couple cool videos.
Yeah, they would have been
of him
falling
diving
super
out of the
fast
store.
into the water.
Yeah.
The deceleration would be like insane. It would liquefy their insides, basically.
No, the liquid's on the outside. That's the water.
But you know what's on the inside? Computers.
No, but remember,
Computers have insides.
Your
The
body's
other thing that sucks too
75%
is
water.
that they just like
25%
crashed in the
blood.
ocean.
Your body,
Obviously
your body's
sunk.
75% water, so it's
So
just
it's like-
gonna be a mix of
They
water.
couldn't even like recover the wreckage for like months and months and months. So I don't even know if they were able
Because
to
it took like months
find
for it
the
to actually
bodies
like pop
and
back
stuff.
up because it was like boom, it went way deep.
No, it's
Small.
crazy. Like if you look at the stuff, it's crazy
It's
because it's like
small.
it's live and it was on TV, and this was like just at the beginning of 24-hour news cycles.
Yeah, so it
So-
was pretty fucked up, and everyone
But
was.
it's like nobody like because now people are trained. So when you're watching like a live event or whatever,
Yeah.
like
Alright, get off
9/11,
it.
9/11 or whatever, they're like talking constantly and they know what to say. But
Yeah.
at this time, it's just like some guy and he's like, "What the fuck do I say?" Like
Yeah.
people exploded and
everyone
now
was like, "Oh
everyone's
my God."
very
Yeah.
sad. And it's
Yeah.
like I don't know what to do.
Yeah, because it was like the 70s, right?
Well, folks, that's a real shame. Anyway, we'll see you
I thought
next
the
week.
Challenger was like late 90s.
That's
No,
all.
Challenger was
Oh,
like
my
early
God,
80s. I'm
Challenger was
Yeah,
a
it
long
What
time
blew
ago.
up in the
It was
late
black
90s?
and white
Columbia,
Team
yeah.
Columbia.
Well, Columbia was early
Oh.
2000s.
Okay, that's
There
There
was
were
That's what I'm
many
thinking of, too.
terrible explodey things, but Challenger was like the worst.
It's the
and
worst one
most,
to remember.
Most like public American
Most high-profile one,
thing.
yeah.
Like before 9/11, that was American.
Well, because it was like
9/11.
supposed to be the next mission. Challenger was supposed to be the next moon missions, right? And then that kind of shut down the whole Challenger program.
Yeah, it took like almost like many
Yeah,
years,
until
like
Apollo-
a decade before
yeah.
people were able to go up and.
We should have learned you should never go to the moon. The moon did this.
Go to Mars.
Yeah. Listen to the moon.
So this is kind of related. So we used to work at Calgary Stampede. We talked about this, I'm sure, at some point at the podcast.
Yeah.
But this is kind of related. I was talking with...
Sorry,
It's a
in
cowboy
case
thing.
people don't know, Calgary Stampede is just like a yearly carnival.
It's like where
that
people
shows
gather
up.
and they wear cowboy hats.
And there's
for a week.
there's rodeo
When I do
and
this,
music
I'm
and
tipping
carnival.
my fedora to you, right? But if I do this, am I tipping my cowboy hat too?
I think that's a sombrero. You're a little too.
No, a real 10-gallon hat would be that thing.
Yeah.
Real 10-gallon hat.
Yeah, because we had to wear cowboy hats the second year that we went, and I felt goofy
It
as
was
shit,
not
'cause
cowboy
I'm
hats
very
though,
lanky.
like plastic ones.
Yeah, they were like plastic, shitty cowboy hats that were like
piss
not
buckets.
bendy,
Awful.
and they were just like squeezing
worst,
my head
yeah.
the whole time.
Yeah, I would hate
I also had to wear big, bulky radios on my belt. So I'm a lanky guy with like a giant radio and then a
It's
giant
like
cowboy
leaning
hat.
so much.
Sorry, what did this have to do with the
Yeah,
Challenger explosion?
No, it didn't. It was just something that I remembered. That
Basically,
I wanted
this
to
is
talk
the worst
about.
tragedy. That's
Yeah.
what he's
We
Houston,
I
we
needed
have a
to
problem.
direct us away
Please
from
don't
the
raise it.
tragedy. It didn't need a segue. We just need to get back to the funnies.
Yeah.
That's what we're made for, man. Bringing joy to the people. Anyway, so I have a friend in one of my classes. He was talking about he's an event planner and he worked in Calgary like for festivals and events and stuff. And he was telling me about this very specific fire code regulation for festivals and stuff. So basically, when you have a certain number of people attending some sort of festival within a building, within some sort of like convention center, hall, whatever, there is a minimum width that some of the entrances must be depending on how many people are attending.
Yeah.
So for like, if there's 1,000 people attending an event, there has to be at least one exit that's like accessible to everybody that's 6 meters wide, 6,000 millimeters, so 6 meters wide. But the
Thanks
way
for clearing that up.
sorry,
Yeah,
but that's just an example.
600 centimeters.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
That's just an
Why do they
example.
measure things in millimeters though?
No, that's just the way that the regulations work. That's just what they use. Because they're Canadian, whatever. It's metric.
Well, yeah, but why millimeters?
it's exact. I guess.
No,
Maybe
because
some of them it's like
I'm saying millimeters because the way they scale it for the amount of people is they say, all right, so for each person you have to allot at least 6 millimeters.
But what if they're what if they're wearing a radio?
But what I'm
That's
saying,
like more-
so for if you for an event with 1,000 people, you need a 6 meter wide exit. But if you had an event with like one person, you can legally get away without the exit only 6 millimeters.
it's called jail.
wide. And that's legal according to this regulation. So I just thought that was
That's pretty funny.
That just reminded me of that club fire in.
Yeah, that's
Asia
where I
or
thought you
whatever.
were
That's a
going.
really
Oh,
horrifying
yeah.
video to watch.
Yeah, I haven't watched it.
Oh,
I don't want to
yeah,
listen to
'cause-
people dying.
Well,
by
there's video
fire.
from inside the
club was
club
on
and
fire.
well,
This
there's
is the recent
video
one.
from
This is the
inside the
recent
club
one?
and
Well,
outside
like
the club, right?
mid-2000s or something?
Yeah.
It's
And-
the one where they're spraying like the pyro.
Yeah,
or
and like
Yeah,
whatever it is. Yeah.
Well, no, that's the festival that like last year.
Yeah,
where
that's
the
what
pyro.
I'm
No,
thinking.
where the
was like
the
a
color
Brazilian
spray
club.
caught
Yeah,
fire.
that's what it's supposed
no,
to be,
this
yeah.
is like a nightclub fire that happened like 2005.
Oh.
And there's two videos. There's
like Brazil, right, or something?
yeah,
it's-
and there's the CCTV from inside with no audio, and it's basically just this big fire and you see people burning alive, which is terrifying. But the worst video is the one from outside. Like someone got outside and started filming, and you can hear the people all jammed into the door screaming as they're burned alive because there were so many people running out at the same time that people got trampled and like had their legs broken and they couldn't get out and they're stuck in the doors. It's,
Well, and
It's
the-
literally
Were
like
they
like
dancing on
no, and there's like
there's
people
crushed mushed
and
into a
there's
doorway
like
that
I think there's like
like
250 people burned alive.
Well,
It
it's
was
because
terrible.
the like manager of the club like locked the back door, so there was
Yeah.
only the one exit out the front.
Yeah, so it was like a
But it
stampede.
was 6 I just don't understand how it spreads. Like, if someone catches fire on the dance floor, you're just like, oh.
No, it's not.
no,
It's not that someone caught fire. It's the whole building
Yeah,
caught
there were
fire.
pyrotechnics, and there was like a styrofoam or some kind of
Yeah.
like hella flammable like
That caught
sign
fire.
above, and it caught fire, and then immediately just went like.
Like Alex's idea that there's just one guy who's on
Just
fire.
starts on fire.
And everyone's like, what's with this freaking jerk lighting this whole place?
So
You know what,
hot
that's fine.
dancing.
You just light everything on fire and we'll just, yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of the most terrifying things I've ever.
Have you guys
Watch.
seen the club where the floor collapsed?
Yeah, that one's
That's
crazy.
Fucked up. That's crazy.
I thought that was like a wedding.
Oh, I saw a
Maybe
wedding.
wedding. Maybe
There-
a wedding.
there's been a
I
few.
don't know. It's just like a dance thing.
It happens.
Speaking of horrible disasters in the Calgary Stampede, every year they have what are they called, chuck wagon races, where it's like
Oh, horses die.
where horses die.
Yeah,
all
every
the
year.
time.
Every year, it's
Every
like a
single year.
tradition
Yeah.
at the Calgary Stampede for just horses to die.
Because there's like it's like
It's
a,
very
a
barbaric.
team of
All
horses
of it.
that have to run, and then like they pulled just big ass wooden wagons for some reason.
And the first year we were there, a ride actually broke, but nobody died. There was just
Nobody
minor
died.
injuries.
But the good thing about that was that the ride like fell apart, so it was just one of the spinny ones, and just kind of like went and like fell
Yeah,
off. And then
but
we
people
went
still
riding
fell.
on rides the next day, and no one was at the park. But it was like it's good for us because it's like. Okay, what are the odds that a ride falls off once? That's like very unlikely. And what are the odds that it happens a second time? That's even more unlikely.
Well, it doesn't
I'm
affect
sure.
the odds, but
I would think
they're
it does.
more safe after.
Yeah.
If they learn.
Because they have to go and like look at everything again,
yeah.
right?
yeah, okay. If there was like inspections, yes. Then.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust them to because they're a bunch of dirty carnies who never
Wow!
wash
Wow, bleep that whole part.
He's
That's
offending the
horrible.
carny population of our
God.
I like how
viewers.
you're wearing the Pilsner socks.
Oh,
I got
thank
you.
Oh, sweet.
There's my regular.
Oh, those
rotation.
are rabbits.
Have you
Yeah,
been
yeah.
getting around to watching The Hangover on DVD?
No, we gave it to someone.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep getting Snapchats of people
like, oh
who
look,
get
I got
them.
a thing.
What? I missed
The person
Oh,
who got
and-
me the pinata plays.
and
it
the,
above.
No, I was listening. I'd be like, I
Yeah.
wasn't here for all of that
Oh,
to happen.
incest?
Because
I
I
guess
took a
somebody
hiatus.
send me some Snapchats of dancing pinatas.
Cool.
You have a high anus
No, I don't actually.
because you smoke weed through your butt.
Never tried it.
Yum.
Butt chug smoke.
Yeah, wait, Luke, you can butt breathe. One of these days,
Oh
just
my
get
god!
cool
How
and butt
often
smoke.
must we bring up butt breathing on
Well,
this
it's been 3
podcast?
times probably now.
It is absolutely more than 3
Okay, everyone, go back, watch all the podcasts,
Every,
count the butt
every
Every
hour,
hour,
every second.
I'm
every
guessing-
millimeter of those
Because every time it
podcasts.
comes up, you always go, "Oh, hey, Luke, you can butt breathe."
That's because he can butt breathe. None of the rest of us can
We're-
consistently
we're
butt breathe.
united through this trait.
Well, if we like,
Though I haven't done it in
and
years.
tape-
Yeah, I haven't done it in many eons.
if we, I mean, like, if we sealed your like,
No,
air-
you could not get
No, I can't
air.
literally get oxygen.
That's
to
not
my
how
lungs.
anatomy works.
But
I just can't. You can
if you
just,
get
like,
enough
suck
air in your
out.
butt, someone's got to
So
have it
basically
in
you
your
just,
lungs,
like,
right?
fart.
No, absolutely
if
not.
you're-
Your lungs are not connected to your butt.
What if you're like, what is butt?
No,
The lungs
Nick,
both
no,
connect to
stop,
each other.
no. Hey, hey,
It's
Chikai,
just
no,
that
Chikai,
first
no.
some air goes into your lungs, and the lungs are like, "What's up, air?" And they take them in.
I mean, we did have a teacher who said the tongue is directly connected by like a tube to the urethra because she didn't understand biology at all, and it was very bad.
Through the stomach, like it's.
Yeah, and, well, it's because she saw a diagram and something kind of looked like a tongue at the top,
Oh,
and it kind of looked like a urethra at the bottom. She goes, "Yeah, that's what that is," and it just
So like, you
explains
could
it.
you
We're
could do like the
"What?"
magic trick where you just pull out rope and it goes
Yeah,
right. You
totally.
just pull your tongue out.
and then you pull your urethra inside out. I guess.
Oh.
Yikes. Yeah.
So Connor said he had a despicable, horrible person story.
Oh man, you guys.
Is it about Connor
despicable.
or is it about Minions?
So it's a bit of a long story, so don't mat me on it, okay?
Okay.
What?
Just-
no promises.
Don't take it
No, no,
personally.
no,
No, I'll
no,
do
it's
my-
okay, Connor. We respect you.
Okay.
already
No, it's just
become
because
matting.
it needs a little bit of setup just to kind of set the scene. So on Thursday night, I went.
With a cowboy hat and a radio.
Well, almost a little bit because
Okay.
on Thursday night I went to the ranch for a rave. Well, whatever. It's a good venue for shows because just the way the dance. Whatever. I went to the ranch for a rave, and it was free before 10:30, so I went early. So I got to the bar at about 9:30, which is fucking early to go to the bar. I get there, it's already pretty full, which is weird. But none of my friends were there yet, so I was like, whatever. I'm gonna go grab a drink. I'm gonna chill at the bar, try to talk to some new people. Whatever. So I'm just standing there, I'm just drinking. I was like, oh, please. Take it in the room. I'll take it in the room. I literally just got my drink.
That does sound like Connor.
No, I literally just got my drink. I was turning around, like, just trying to, like, scope out, see.
That's what I do when I come to the bar too. I get a drink and look around.
We're like, he's been
Whatever.
drinking.
You guys know what I mean, though, right? You know what I mean? Like, that feel you're saying, like, oh, okay, cool. And then I see this small woman out of the crowd just kind of, like, see me and then just beeline towards me. And she's maybe 5 feet tall in 8-inch hooker boots. Like, these boots come up to here and the heels are, like, 8 inches. And she's maybe 5 feet tall. She's tiny. Rockin' bod. I didn't get a good look at her face. I wasn't looking at it.
Oh.
So, yeah, oh, we'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry. I'm just setting the scene right now. So she comes over and she introduces herself. We start talking, but she's standing next to me. We're both looking out of the dance floor. I was like, okay, cool. And then she just kind of like tugs the bar and was like, hey, let's go dance. And I was like, whatever. So we go dance. There's one other person on the dance floor, and there's maybe 500 people in the bar already. And if you've been to the ranch, you know that there's like raised like platforms around the dance floor and then the dance floor down below. So I'm standing there in the middle with this random girl I haven't even looked at properly yet. And everyone is watching us. And I'm standing there like, I really don't like this. And she starts dancing and I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll just move to the music. I don't really care. And I'm like, okay.
Dancing.
And I'm not like,
He's not going all out, you know. He's not
I mean,
going
like, there's one guy like actually dancing. I'm
Like
just
you
kind of
in a
like,
backpack,
I'm just
though.
kind of like
Like you
doing
in
one
a
of these.
backpack. Pull out
The backpack. I'm just going to like these dances though, right? I'm not like actually dancing. And she's like starting to go, and I'm like, all right, cool. And then she starts dancing like a stripper. Like she does the whole drop, bend, open your knees, and like twerk and shit. And I'm like, that's not cool. And then it gets worse. Like, she does the whole, like, on your back, like, pelvic thrust. Remember, we're the only two people on the dance floor. So, and I look up, and everyone just kind of stopped their conversation and did this. And, like, looked at us. And I see one girl pull out her phone and start filming, and some dudes start laughing. And I'm like, all right, this is a problem. But I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to go with it. So she does that, and I'm like, all right, come here. And I get her to come up and, like, at least grab onto me and grind on me, because that needed to stop. And then I'm like, it's impressive that you can move that way in those heels. Like, that must be hard to do. And she's like, oh, well, I used to be a stripper. And I was like, of course.
Yeah.
And I was like, we need to get off this dance floor. So I'm like, let's go get a drink. And I don't ever buy a girl a drink, but I need to buy her a drink just to get her off this dance floor. So I've known her for like 10 minutes and she's already embarrassed me. So I go to leave the dance floor, and I still haven't gotten a super good look at her face, right?
How, dude? Honestly,
She's like, what's up?
I was seriously. No, she was like
the whole time.
She was like spinning and flipping her hair around and stuff. So I haven't like seen a lot. I got glimpses, and I was like, okay, she's got.
It's
also
also
dark
dark
mixed
though.
idea.
No, like seriously,
Let's go dance.
she was moving around a lot. And I could see that she had like pretty eyes, but that was about it. Like, she had pretty eyes, but that was about
She
it.
had like a balaclava on.
She might as well have. But and then I leave, and you know sometimes you see guys leaving the dance floor with girls, other guys will be like, give them a nod, I'm like, yo, good job. I make eye contact with this group of 3 guys, and they look at me and they do this. And I'm like, oh no, I don't know what to do. And they were like, they did the one eyes, like, I don't know what to do, and then they all just turned away, and I was like, no! And then I go to the bar, and we get a shot, and then I finally see her, and I'm like, okay, she's not ugly, like, she's pretty. She's like, whatever, she's got lots of makeup on, so it's like, yeah, she's probably got some problems going on. And then she starts talking. And she has the worst teeth I've ever seen on any person. Her teeth are like that big, and her gums were like dark.
Gingivitis.
And like, yeah, it was bad. Like if. And then we'll get to the reason why right now. And then she's like, we've known each other for maybe 20 minutes at this point. And she's like, okay, so I just want to be upfront and honest with you so you're not surprised later. And I was like, later? That's a red flag. Because 20 minutes. And she's like, well, I'm 21. And I'm like, okay, cool, me too. And she's like, and I've been married twice. And I'm like, red flag. And I was like,
That's 2 red flags.
2 red flags.
2 red flags in like a second.
Yeah.
In like a second. So that's 2. And then,
That counts as a double. Being married twice, each marriage is a flag.
okay,
Are
and
we
then-
up to 3?
okay, so don't bother counting because they're gonna come fast, right?
No,
they're gonna like
Flag
jump
counter on the screen.
Okay, and then she's like, and my ex-husband, who was 42. Oh no! Okay, so before that, she's like,
Actually,
so,
it's 5.
okay, so
No,
wait,
it's 4.
you're gonna add another one. So she's like, I've been married twice, and I'm a widow. Because my ex-husband, who was 42,
Unless you
Yeah,
killed
okay, we're
her,
at 5.
Yes.
We're at 5. No, we're at 5.
because my ex-husband,
Okay,
who was
that's
42, died of a fentanyl overdose.
No! He does fentanyl
Okay.
and he died of fentanyl overdose.
Dude, okay, and so like I said, rapid fire.
Yes,
And then she's like,
go for
okay,
real.
because I used to do it too. I would do like 30 pills a day, but now
Put 30 on it.
but now I'm on the methadone program to get off of it. And I was like,
That's kind of like
I was like,
good
okay,
for-
stop for a sec.
And the whole
I was
time
like,
she's like,
no, I got a good full view of it. And I'm like, all right. But I'm like, okay, let's stop for a sec. And I was just like, I need to take that in because that's a lot of process. I've known you for 25 minutes, and that's fucked up. And then I was like, okay, just let's steer the conversation elsewhere. What do you do for work? And she was like, well, I used to be a stripper. And I'm like, yes, I know. Like, I literally was like, yes, I know. And she's like, I'm going to school to be a lawyer. So I work as a legal aid in a law firm. I'm like, I don't believe you. And then she's like, but I also run the phones for an escort service. So if you ever want to have a 3-way, let me know. I was like, what?
oh.
And so, yeah. And that was.
I mean, running the phones for an escort service is fine.
Yeah. And then I was like,
Well,
oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we've all done it.
No, I mean,
That's
as
a-
far
that'd be
as
such a
like
weird
that,
job.
It's fine. I
That's
don't
a red
care.
flag, though.
I don't care what you do, but it's like red
Yeah.
flag, red flag. And then I was like,
That's
all
red
right,
flag.
cool. I was like, okay, I gotta tap out now. Like, I was all in.
You gotta tap out, tap that chick.
Well, and this is kind of where like, and this is kind of like where the divide between biology and brain came in, because my body was like, yo, fuck her, because she's got rockin' body, and I was like, yeah, do it. And my brain was like, shut up. We're not doing it. She's gross. And I was like, oh, man. And then she was like, hey, you want to see a picture of me naked? I'm like, well, yeah. So she showed me pictures of me naked.
Hey!
Well, I mean, whatever, right? I don't,
that a red
obviously,
flag?
it doesn't matter what's going on. I'm like,
Yeah.
and then she's like, going through her phone, I'm like, what? Yeah, okay, cool. And then I was like, hey, my friends just got here. I'll catch up with you later because, you're personable. You can go make friends. And she's like, oh, it's okay. I'll come along. And we're like,
Oh,
Another one.
So what
Okay,
percentage
so-
are we through the story at this point? I just want.
okay, so I met her at about 9:40. I ditched her at about 12:30.
Oh, we got some.
It was like, no, it was
Okay.
more just her tagging along and trying to dance with me. Like, there was one point I was just standing at the bar and she was like, dance. I was like, so I started moving and she like jumped on me. And I was like,
And I swear, like, your drink, she's like, dance.
no, seriously.
Did you watch your drink the whole time?
What? No, I got another one because I normally don't drink when I go out, but I had to deal with this. So she met all the people I came with, and they were like, my buddy Justin was like, dude, she went to the bathroom, he was like, dude, if you take her home, I'm gonna fight you. She's horrible. He's like, I've seen some messed up girls, I've been with some messed up girls, don't fuck with this girl. And I was like, I'm trying not to. Do you want her? He was like, no. I was like, fuck. And then I ran into one of my personal training clients while I was with this girl,
no.
and then she was like, oh, this your friend? And I'm like, sure, why not? And that was awkward. And then I saw her again later, after I ditched her, and she was like, hey, where'd your friend go? And I was like, I got a story for you. And she was like, oh, no. And so, yeah.
Then
And
what happened?
It took about 3 hours to convince this girl to leave me alone.
What? How?
Well, I just kind of, she was like, I was like, I'm going to go find my friend. She was like, oh, I'll come with you. And I was like, all right, cool. So I went over there, and then she was like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. I was like, all right. And then I just went out.
Yeah.
I just went outside. I didn't tell anyone where I went. I just went outside and hid in the corner. And this is the end
What
of the
corner?
of the smoke
Up
pit.
there
Like,
outside.
of the smoke pit, because there's like, benches and stuff, so I just hid there. And this is the best part of the whole story. I was out there for about 15 minutes because I was like, I'm just going to wait it out. I'm just going to wait it out because she'll find someone else. She'll latch onto somebody else. And then I'm out there and I'm just like, I don't know what to do. And these two girls come up to you and they're like, hey, you're that guy. And I'm like, oh no. And I'm like, what guy? And they're like, that guy was dancing with that retarded girl at the beginning of the night. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, so we want to say, everyone in here feels so sorry for you. They were like, we were standing on the edge. We were talking to some people about, because we watched you try to dance with this girl, and that we could all tell you were so not into it and not interested that we felt so bad for you. And everyone was like, man, that fucking sucks.
That could have been an opportunity for everybody to get everybody to buy you drinks too, if they were.
They were going to, but I was like, I can't drink anymore. I'm okay at this point. But yeah. And that was...
You got that backwards.
No, and then I saw her later, and she was with like the most coke dealery looking dude in the planet. I was like, fine, go that
The
way.
distance you saw, yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, she kept like trying to like touch me and stuff all night, and I was like, and I just like ignored. Like she'd walk past me and give me like one of those, and I just keep walking, and yeah. That
So
was a
she didn't get your cell phone number.
maybe, but I don't think so.
Uh-oh.
How even maybe?
Uh-oh.
I'd go nowhere
Well,
near a
usually
real
when I
number.
meet people at the bar, like at the very beginning, I'll give them my number just so I can be like, hey, I'll text you in a bit. I'm gonna go catch up with these people because I
If
just
you like them.
Well, I usually when I first met her, she was fine. Like we were just chatting. And it
This
was
is
okay.
this stage.
Yeah,
This is
he's
before
at
we.
this
This is
stage.
before we even hit the dance floor,
Floyd
right?
Mayweather
She's
on
like
you.
shadow.
'Cause that's usually what I do when I meet new people. Within 5 minutes, they'll usually get their number,
Really?
and then I'll just be
Wow.
like, "I'll come hang with you." Because I usually don't see them ever after that. So I'm like, whatever.
Yeah,
if you're
yeah,
cool,
yeah.
I'll chill with you tonight. I'll just give you my number. So, yeah, and that was,
Wow.
that was that. It was
That's a
bad.
lot. Yeah.
Wow.
It was bad.
I saw Alec the other day. I went and visited, hung out with him, and he was telling a story about this girl that he grew up with, like just on like the same block as him, and like his kids, they
Jenny.
occasionally hang out, whatever. But he said he had a really weird experience because someone showed him a picture of her now, and because like they're the same age, so she's like 21 as well, and it was really weird because this girl that he grew up with, now he's seeing a picture of her surrounded by 7 dicks. And he was like, wow, that's really weird.
That's 5 more than in the past. That's 7 red flags. Wow, that's a weird picture.
I know,
to be
it's
quite
just
honest.
like,
yeah.
I haven't seen this person in years, and here they
She's
are
getting
with
gangbanged.
There's 7 of them,
gangbang, bukkake style.
Awesome.
Sorry, were you going to say?
I've just got
I have
a
an
thing.
unrelated thing.
I just have a club story that reminded
Okay.
me, really quick one,
No,
because of Connor's one. As we were going to a club a little while back, there were just 3 of us that were going in, and we're on the street, and we're about to get inside. And we see this girl and this guy walking beside each other, but we can't really tell if they're together or anything. And so my friend just walks up and just says hi to them, talks with them, and the guy is really, like, not cool with it. And he was just really, just kind of a jerk We're like, okay, whatever. And then my friend just kind of goes, oh, it's cool, man. And just touches him like that, just a quick little tap. And the guy just goes, he's just like, whoa, dude, don't touch me. And we all kind of laugh. We're like, all right, chill, buddy, whatever. We go inside the place. There's basically nobody on the dance floor, so we start dancing to try to kind of liven it up, and it's starting to work. And then we see that guy on the dance floor with that girl. And I just whisper to him, I'm like, you want to touch him again? And he goes, okay. And so then, kind of the same way that, I don't know if I told you about the other challenge, or yeah, the challenge we had of who could get rejected by those girls. It was going to be a similar thing, but it was who can touch this guy the most times.
Without getting in a fight.
Without getting in a fight, exactly. And so... my friend who touched him the first time just goes up again and kind of dances for a second, then, oh, sorry, buddy, and just walks by and gives him another touch. I'm like, yeah, well done, well done. And then I go, okay, it's my turn. So I'm just dancing around, and I just like, oh, I'm looking for a friend. Oh sorry, dude. And then we just keep touching him.
Oh, man. Did he
But
notice?
he never caught on to it. Or at least he didn't visibly catch on. He didn't try to start a fight. I didn't have to give him the old settle down, as we say.
Should have touched his shoulders.
Yeah, exactly.
So wait, did you ever find out why he was so like
No, he's a
cranky
jerk.
outside?
Because like people who go to clubs, more than 50% are giant assholes.
I gotta start about that after your story.
No, I don't. It's,
Okay.
it's unrelated.
So, do you guys know Legends Pub? You ever been there?
No.
Okay, it's a sports bar. It's pretty kind of like low key, really chill.
Legends. No, I do.
It used to be Jet nightclub,
Where is that again?
91st Street and 34th Ave. You can bleep that out. It's fine, but it's basically the hole in the wall sports bar.
Yeah, yeah.
It's actually really nice. I know all the bartenders now because I've been there a few times. But I went there and I went there one night and the bartender was like, "Hey, you should come back tomorrow. We're having this big thing for this Facebook group." And I was like, "Sure, why not? What's up?"
Is that in that same little plaza where there was that Max that got shot and robbed?
No, it's by Cash Canada, like the pawn shop.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Sorry,
right in there.
Yeah. Never mind.
Oh, I
yeah.
know.
Yeah. You guys you probably driven past it a
Who
bazillion
cares?
times.
Sorry.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they were like, "Oh, come back tomorrow. There's gonna be this big thing." And I come back, and it was like I'm the youngest person in here by like 15 years,
Yeah.
which was weird because it was a Facebook group called Canadian Selfies. So it's like a bunch of people that just take selfies across Canada and then they post them, like talk to each other. And I was like,
It's kind of cool, I guess.
it's all right. And
Any
the
bar in like Mill Woods for the most part, or that area.
older people,
it's
yeah,
always, it's all
which is
over
fine
Canada.
because
Older
I
pub.
actually met some cool people. But the next youngest guy was a cunt all night. He kept trying to fight everybody. He was there with his friend, and they were both in suits, and they were those kind of guys.
No.
And anytime anyone would say anything or do anything, he was like, "Hey, what you doing?" And this dude is like maybe Robin size, but shorter. So he's not like he's a big dude, right?
What are you trying
Yeah, exactly. Like seriously.
Hey, Robin.
They walk around like
I'll settle it.
they walk around like a chicken.
Yeah, and they were doing karaoke, right? So this guy was trying to sing a song, and he went up to the girl running the karaoke, and he's like, "Hey, can my buddy and I sing our song?" And she was like, "Yeah, but we gotta get through the rotation, right?" And he's like, "Well, fuck that," and he threw all of her stuff on the floor,
Wow.
and then she yelled at him and kicked him out, and he was like, "Yeah, fuck you, you cunt," and everyone was like, "Dude, just go outside." So he goes outside, he's like yelling and being a bitch outside, and like 8 dudes, and the dudes that were there are all like Hells Angels or bikers or big fucking rig pigs.
Wait, taking selfies?
Yeah, like, dude, no, like seriously, these guys that I would not fuck with.
The Hells Angels selfie club. It's just old dudes with beards.
No, I'm not even joking. Like, these guys are not guys I would fuck with. Kind of thing. Like, all the girls that were there were in like 8-inch heels, they all had fake tits and like tats up to here and like crazy makeup and stuff. I was like, wow, not my crowd. But I go outside and this guy is chirping 5 of these big motherfuckers. Like, these dudes are all like 280 pounds at least. And he's like, "Man, I'll fight anybody in here." And these guys are like, "You're gonna get fucking hurt." He's like, "What'd you say to me?" and he was like, "No, that's disrespectful." I'm like, these 5 dudes like start closing around him, they're like, "You need to be careful what you say because you're gonna get hurt." And he's like, "Well, who's gonna fucking hurt me?" And they're like, "We got 5 dudes right here."
Dude,
He's like, "I'll take you all on." And I'm like, "All right, I need to stop this." So I step in and I'm like, "Hey man, let's go have a smoke over there." And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Let's just, let's let these guys do their thing. Let's go walk over there because, I just want to chat with you for a bit." He's like, "Fine." He's like looking over my shoulder the
That
whole
was very
time.
nice of you.
I just took him over and I had a smoke with him. I was like, "Okay, dude, like I get where you're coming from. You feel disrespected, but like fucking shut up." Like,
You're gonna die.
Maybe you're drunk. These guys are drunk. Like, it's probably like tensions are running high. But at the same time, this is not a crowd you want to fuck with because you're on your own. Like, your buddy is not gonna help you. Like, this is a place you're gonna get fucking murdered. And he was like, and I was like, stop. No, like, seriously, I had to put my hand on his chest, and he, like, gave me one of those looks, and I was just like, no, seriously, you need to fucking stop. Because, like, this is not a good thing. It's like, yeah, whatever, man, fuck this place. And I was like, okay, cool, just leave.
Did you try to
Go
take
away.
a selfie with him?
No.
Oh, you should've.
No. But and then he shook my hand. He was like, "Okay, thanks, man. Thanks for talking to me." I was like, "Well, yeah." And I go back inside, and they're like, "Is he fucking gone?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Thank you very much." And like all these scary bikers like shaking my hand, like, "Good job, man." I was like, "I'm glad you guys like me. I'm glad you guys like me." And I was like, yeah. And then I just went inside the bar, like, and the bartender was like, "What happened?" I was like, "That was fucking weird. I had to be the adult." They're like, "Why?" It's like people are stupid. So yeah.
Now you can join the Hell's Angels. You
You're
got
an
it.
honorary member.
Yeah.
I don't want to be. They're scary.
So, okay, what I thought of asking you guys was, do you feel like there's anything you've done that has any sort of, like, actual importance or significance, and what was it that you
Lots
did?
of fentanyl.
Like in a good way,
It
or
doesn't matter. Oh, it doesn't matter.
This is
It
what
depends
it's
on
on.
it depends on whether you want to use it like your definition of important or like a global importance kind of thing.
I
'Cause-
recycle.
Because like the one thing
I'm a personal trainer, so you know.
making the world a better place
I
one
generally
rep at a
make
time.
positive changes in people's lives. That's what I try to do. So.
Oh, that's
Nice.
very sales pitch.
I help
Well, no,
the
but I'm just
lady
saying, like, that's what I try to do.
Yeah, I'm a lifeguard. I generally make everyone's life better.
That's true.
Yeah.
There was a lady who was like, because it is hella icy out right now, right?
Hey,
I'm just
lifeguard,
gonna
I'm
grab a
sorry.
drink real quick.
But no, it's like super fucking icy out there right now, right?
Yeah.
So there's just a lady who was like late to class or something, I guess. And she was running and just biffed it. Like just wiped out on the snow or on the ice and just threw all of her stuff like everywhere. And I helped her pick it up.
Well, that's dumb of her. If she's fallen, she's just like, get this out of here.
One thing is, if anybody's ever nervous and they're like let's say like this has happened in a drama class, never start chanting somebody's name.
Yeah,
Because-
no, that-
Oh no! God,
so much
that's
pressure.
awful.
Yeah, so this kid so the kid in this class, this is last year, and it's like intro drama. And this kid, he's, you know, when at the beginning of class, like there's an adult comes, like a regular person comes in and they're like, hey, so there's gonna be a special needs kids in this class. Does anybody want to come and?
Tell. Yeah, a person who works with the special needs program.
an adult
comes
that
and
works with
explains
these
it.
kids. The adult that works with all these adults.
Yeah.
So people volunteer, whatever, right? So this guy's kind of established in the class is like whatever, right? So it's who cares? So get to a day, a couple like weeks into the class, like he hasn't been going up and that kind of thing. And it's just more like if they go there, it's more of the experience of being in the class and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they're basically auditing with
Yeah,
us.
they're auditing and they can participate if they want to, right? And then there's an exercise where two people have to go up and then it's like an improv thing, so you have to like freeze and then you have to say something stupid, like put your hands up, and then you have to.
That is dumb.
So like put your hands up, and then so you do it, and then you have to bring it up intensity. So it's like 2, 3, 4, and then you go all the way up to 10 or whatever, right?
Right.
So it's just the thing about displaying emotion, all that. So everyone's doing that kind of thing, and then the guy, I'm just gonna say his name is, we'll just say Peter or something. So they're like, okay, Peter, you got to go up, and he's like, huh, like he doesn't want to go up, and then like he's really like visually like. No, I'm okay, right? And then people around us start going, come on, Peter, you gotta go up, you haven't gone up yet. And they're like, and I'm over there on the side, like, sitting there, and they keep doing this, and then all of a sudden they go like, Peter,
No.
Peter, and then the prof joins in, and I'm like, do you not know how to fucking? So
This
everyone's
is
going,
condescending
Peter,
at this
and
point.
this kid is like seriously like this kind of thing, and then I'm like, Peter, I'll go up because you're only supposed to go by yourself,
Yeah.
right? So I went up to Peter and I was like, dude, I'll go up with you.
Wow.
Let's go. So I grabbed Peter.
he was willing to go?
He didn't even say anything, and I was like, don't shoot me! And then he just went, like shot me with a gun, and
Yeah.
then we just brought it up, and it was like 1, 2, we went to
Yeah.
10, and he was.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you made him-
I was like,
You
yeah, I was
treated
like,
him
the
like a
rest of
human
you are
being.
fucking horrible people.
You treated him
Yeah,
like a
but-
person as
yeah,
opposed
well,
to a
yeah,
child.
yeah.
They're doing it from a good place. They're
Yeah,
trying
but they
to
don't
do
do
something
it like that.
Really, like,
Yeah.
condescending and
Yeah.
totally
Yeah.
not helpful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So sorry, this guy who got called up was like not wanting or not like technically in that class. Or
Yeah,
No,
because
it's like a
it's
different
special
program
needs.
that you
They-
Yeah, that's like
campus.
it's like the outreach program where, like, in much of my class, where this one guy he had Down syndrome and he was always in all of our classes, but he didn't ever get like graded. Or he didn't
Well, yeah,
have
but
to,
that,
like,
but that's what I'm saying is like
It's
if
like that.
like you could like if we were all in that class, Luke just couldn't be like I don't want to go up. Like I'm not just gonna go up. But that guy could have.
yeah,
like,
because
yeah,
it's
it's
like it's
like-
too much,
like-
especially if
yeah,
he's on
exactly.
spectrum
You
or
need to
something too.
recognize
Like
that it's like it's
that kind of like
Yeah.
pressure is not super good.
So we're talking about like little nice things you
Yeah,
did
it's
for
the
people.
nice thing.
I was thinking like important.
Like,
It's like
I
fuck
would
that
say
shit.
impact.
No, it's
Fuck
probably
that
important
shit.
to his life. It's probably, you know.
That shit. Most
I don't
important
do
thing-
anything for anybody.
Most important thing, I think,
He just asked this
Okay.
question
Yeah, no,
to tell a
yeah,
story.
yeah.
I'm
Alright.
surprised you went up him though.
So, in the first week of Mirror's Edge coming out, I did a speed run. I was
No,
number
but
13
you
in the
fuck-
world.
Oh my god, that's
Dude,
so
that is
important.
Who did he
That's
have
not
more
your worst
important
one.
question.
That's you're doing that because people joke about you saying that too much, and now you're saying it in the worst time just to accentuate the meme.
Wait,
He helps a woman in need. He helps a handicapped guy.
There is
That's
$10,000
that's
Hurricane
that's
Katrina.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. And you
Yeah,
played
mine
a
was
video
terrible,
game
but
pretty
I'm
well.
I'm just saying I don't think any of us have done anything for anyone.
Anything that you
Ever.
I think we
can't
have,
of
but
it.
it's just not
But it's not
appropriate
for
to
stuff.
I've done a lot of
here.
Like things that have had
Yeah.
importance.
I've been first responder to like 4 car accidents.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
They're
wow.
they've all been minor, but I've been like the
Connor's
first
been
person.
the cause of it.
I was gonna say,
How
they've
are
all
you been
been my
around for
accidents.
It's always icy in my neighborhood, and people always like get into fender benders and stuff, and I'm always checking about making sure like if they have whiplash and stuff to get them to the hospital and things like that. Yeah. I've called the cops 4 different times for different car accidents.
Huh.
Yeah.
Neat.
I'm trying to think of negative ones. When I was a kid, at my dad's house, sometimes after washing my hands, I would dry them, but I didn't have you're a kid, you're stupid, and you're just like, I just was like, done. And they're a little bit wet, and then I walked down the stairs and like touched the walls and stuff.
Oh.
But over years, they would get like dirty and gross. And then when they had to move out, they were like, oh, we gotta clean these walls, and they didn't even notice or whatever until they're like, oh, it's fucking awful. And then they were like, oh, it must have been my sister who did it. You clean it. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
She
kind
did
of
it.
like that time I beat that guy to death with a lead pipe.
Yeah, that's exactly the same.
Yeah.
He owed my buddy money, so we fucking murdered him.
Important negative things is good too because
Good
like
joke.
I feel like there was at least when we did this I felt like it was important, but it was obviously it was well even I think at the time we knew it was petty and just funny. But like when we were signing yearbooks, and then there was one guy.
Oh, I was there for that. You guys
so
are fucking
petty.
assholes. Yeah.
I don't even remember what we read.
No.
No, there was
What
a
was
guy.
this? It
I was
the
going
singer
home with
guy.
This
As
guy
soon as
who
he
we-
said someone, I was like, okay, it's probably that guy. But
We
what happened?
don't like. Well, it's we don't know him anymore, but we didn't like him because he was he's obnoxious.
Pompous.
Yeah, he was a lot of
pompous.
That one?
He's a lot of no.
What?
Yeah.
No, singer.
No, but then he was
Oh,
his
yeah.
yearbook was passed around for people signing it.
And everyone was
I was like, and I wrote, "You should be better at not being shitty." And then I passed
Stop
around,
being
and then I
weird.
was like, "Alex, we gotta go."
You were my ride home. You were my ride home. And I was,
yeah,
I was
yeah,
doing
yeah.
signing yearbooks, and you're like, Nick, we gotta go right fucking now. And I was like, why? And then they're already hopping over like the
Oh,
barrier
no,
at East
yeah,
Mall.
man.
Like they didn't even go through the little. They just hopped over, and I was like, you guys don't look suspicious at all. Like,
Children.
Yeah, seriously.
We got him though.
It was
We
funny.
got him.
Yeah, that showed him.
He didn't white it
He
out.
really changed after that.
It inspired him to try harder.
It's true. If anything, we actually contributed to his victim complex. Would only increased his feelings of
Haters.
No,
value.
we gotta keep
Haters there.
victimizing him so that
Yeah.
someday he'll just like try so hard he'll either like succeed
Get
or
so
just
far?
die.
I just you were talking about suicide.
Could be.
Succeed.
The ultimate way to secure your position
Speaking of
as
which,
a
someone we
valuable
went to junior
artist.
high with committed suicide last
Oh,
semester.
yeah.
That was crazy.
That was a bummer. Kind
Yeah.
of.
Well, I was just surprised, honestly. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
That was
Yeah,
out
I
of
knew him,
nowhere.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. from when I
My,
was,
my parents were
6
like, are you
years
going to go to the funeral? I was like, well, no.
No, because A, I wasn't invited, and B.
Oh, I got
It was
invited by
open.
Esther.
Oh, did you?
It was
Yeah.
Oh
open,
shit.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
know that.
you know too. You went to a
Yeah,
different
Sarah
junior
was
high.
friends with him.
Yeah.
Sort of, like in junior high. So.
Okay.
But I felt like I haven't talked to the guy in like 6 years. I think it wouldn't really be a good.
Yeah.
It wouldn't
Yeah.
be conducive
It'd
to
be
like
kinda
a
weird.
good atmosphere, and it would just be awkward.
Yeah.
Because the only person I know there
Well,
is his
because
cousin.
it's like an acquaintance. Like,
Well, and like Esther
Yeah.
was the only person I knew there, and I didn't want to just like show up and be like, "Hey, how's it
It's weird
going?"
because the family's like, oh, hey, how do you know?
Well, and I hadn't
And
talked to
you're
her
like,
for like a year either, so it's like, it'd be
That's why you show up and you hang out like in the back room, like really suspicious, like
With
you're the
shades
murderer.
And you just go, you want to fucking fight?
Hey,
I'm next to karaoke.
You touched me?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm next
Just
to
open up
karaoke.
the soup. Hey, what's she doing?
Yeah.
Yo, fuck this guy.
Fuck this guy. Yeah.
So I had something not negative that happened to me, but my mom got a letter from the police like a couple years ago, and they were like, "Is this your name? And were you born on this day in this year?" And she was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "All right, you need to come down to the police station." I mean, it's all in the letter, so they're not having a conversation. It's just like,
You need to
"Are
come
you
down
this
to the
person
saloon."
born on this day? Come talk to the police or whatever." She had to go down there and like give like fingerprints and stuff because apparently there's a woman born on the same day with the exact same name, like middle name included, born in Yellowknife, who committed crimes.
Oh,
And
wow.
they, like, I don't even understand how this works because they knew it was her, but they didn't know where she was. But they thought like, oh, it's this lady, it just in thousands of miles away for some reason.
Probably just to clear her name, if anything.
I
Yeah,
guess,
really.
but it.
Well,
seemed
they
like
have to
a
cover
very
all the
weird
bases
thing.
at that point, really, right?
Maybe it was her mom. She's had a very like interesting life all over the place, traveling all over.
I mean, they were divorced, and she lived in a different place for like a couple years.
Yeah, so maybe
that's
yeah.
what she
Your
was
mom's a
doing.
criminal.
Yeah. Oh shit. That's no good.
Jury duty is like something you can do that's
Yeah,
important.
I'm
It
happy
has real
that like
effect.
we have a friend who did jury duty,
Yeah.
which is
Oh,
like
sounded boring.
He actually had a cool case though.
He
I
did
like
have a-
it.
Who
Yeah,
did
yeah,
jury
yeah.
duty?
Did it? Oh, I thought it sounded
Aiden.
boring.
Oh, really?
He had like for
'Cause he-
police.
yeah, there's
Is he allowed to talk about it on chat?
After.
No.
Yeah.
no.
yeah.
Okay.
You're not supposed
The
to.
Oh, never
details
mind.
of the case. No,
Yeah,
you're absolutely
totally
not.
did.
That's very
I
illegal.
I'd
was-
probably say genre.
I was glad when he talks about it because he was like, yeah, because well, we couldn't like there was a lot of suspicion and reason to believe that this person did it, but because we couldn't prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, we couldn't say.
The actual
Not-
story of
couldn't
the
say
crime
guilty,
is really
which is
funny.
good because that's
Yeah,
actually.
the story of the
And then I
crime
watched
is real
Making a
funny.
Murderer, and then he was guilty.
Dude,
and I was
the
like,
story,
fuck!
the story of the crime is like really funny because there's like something that happens in the story that's like way fucking worse, but that's not what actually gets
The
like,
issue, yeah,
that's not the
right?
issue of the whole thing. It is
So
weird.
basically, it's like about like without going super into it. There's a guy who
At a-
was getting
at a concert?
like he was at a concert and he was getting in trouble with the police, I
Outside,
guess,
yeah.
for something or other. And I mean, he was on trial though, right? Or was it the cops?
neither the guy. Okay, listen. So there's a guy who's like getting
Because
roughed
the
up
bad
by the
thing is
police.
the kick, right?
No, that's not even what, the bad thing's the kick, but that
Yeah,
wasn't
but that
on
wasn't
trial.
what was on trial, yeah.
So what happened was that the cop was like, hey, you gotta go to this concert. You can't come in because they went out for smokes, and then they were like, we want to get back in. And they were like, hey, fuck you, cop.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he pushed the
Push the
cop,
cop, right?
Yeah.
Not a good
Generally
idea.
not a good idea.
Yeah, so things started escalating, and then the guy got like took it down, right?
Taken down.
Take it down, something like that. He got took, and then he brung his head to the ground. No, so he got taken down, and I don't even know what the exact details are, but at one point, like the guy was like straight on the ground, and the cop who got pushed into the door, I guess, and like got concussed or something, like went
It's a
back
hard
and
push.
yeah, exactly. Like he just like pushed him, right? So the guy hit back, and the guy like pushed him and then ran, and then they brought him down or whatever. Okay,
Yeah,
so I'm getting
as
clear
they
now.
do.
Yeah, so they bring him down, and then as he's down and restrained, and he's like not fighting back, the guy that got pushed,
The cop?
just come and fucking knees
Kicks
him in the,
yeah,
like,
kicked him
kicked him right in the fucking head.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right?
yeah. That's straight up brutality.
That's
But
not
that-
the thing on trial.
Obviously not.
Right, but the thing on trial is that the police officer, some of his paperwork wasn't filled out on the day of.
Yeah, it was filed incorrectly.
It was filed incorrectly, and that
so
was
they had
like
to, they had
a
to
huge
figure
trial.
out whether or not that was like malicious or something, or like actively like police like wrong, like you
Yeah.
could get the case thrown
Yeah.
out because
Yeah.
of that. And I guess it was like no.
And they weren't even like, yeah, he kicked it. And they had like, yeah. Didn't he say that the guy that got kicked in the head came in? No, he didn't even. He wasn't a.
I don't even remember what it
Yeah.
was, but the whole thing was that some cop kicked a guy who was restrained in the face, and that wasn't the thing that they were talking about.
Yeah.
It's like that's messed up. But then yeah, like I watched Making a Murder recently too, and it's just like that's crazy.
It was very frustrating.
That's
to watch.
insane. Yeah.
It's very frustrating. I don't like watching TV shows that get.
It's really, really good though.
It is
like,
very well
I
made
mean, there's like
documentary.
people are all talking about how like, oh, you left out other evidence that made it look more likely. And it's like, yeah, it's a documentary. Like,
Yeah. After reading,
Well,
documentaries are never objective.
No.
They always have.
no,
this is
there's
about-
always
always
yeah,
the point.
They're
an
about
agenda.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not really a
About,
point
like,
to making it
animals did
objective.
this.
Yeah, I
But
know,
the
but
whole
there's,
point of the
there's
trial
always
was that
like a
there's
degree of
reasonable doubt.
responsibility,
The
too.
stuff that they pointed out, there is reasonable
Of
doubt
course.
for sure.
There's
So they shouldn't
tons of
be
reasonable
arrested.
doubt.
Well, that's like reading the book The Innocent Man, right? Like it's just the most
Yeah,
frustrating
'cause
book
we,
in the
yeah,
world.
because exactly, we did read that. For
It's so
English.
frustrating.
Yeah, that's another example of someone who's like.
And they just
Men-
fucked
who
him
has,
over
like,
and like with, and they just
mentally
disregarded
ill
a bunch of
being
other
taken advantage of.
evidence, right?
So yeah, if you like documentaries and getting angry about stuff,
Like, comment, and subscribe.
that's a very
Like if you
then
like
do
to
that.
comment, subscribe.
But it's a good thing to watch.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it.
Very good.
Also,
It's
watch The
depressing.
Act of Killing. Have you guys heard of The Act of
I
Killing?
haven't seen it yet, but I'm going to.
Good.
Oh, with the
The Malaysian guy,
Yeah,
or wait,
Malaysian
is it the
dude.
Malaysian?
Is
I,
it
Indonesian?
Indonesian?
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it was, the like killers.
watch the
Yeah, it's
watch,
like talking
watch
about-
the
about-
sequel.
He's like
Oh,
a Malaysian hitman or whatever.
the
and they're
sequel?
talking-
Watch the sequel. The sequel's
The
called
sequel
The Look
to
of
Act of
Silence.
Killing?
Yes.
Oh,
The
there
Look
actually
of
is one.
Silence. Yeah, it's
Really?
it's a companion film about victims confronting the gangsters,
Huh.
Cool.
Oh,
and it's supposed to be
I do know what you're talking
like
about.
in some ways better than the original. It
I'll
came out
check
last
this out.
year.
That's awesome.
Also, The Imposter is very, very good.
I haven't seen it.
Was that the one about the guy who comes like back and he's like, "I'm your kid."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then they are like, it's that doesn't spoil most of it. It doesn't. But yeah, don't look up anything about this movie except this very small spoiler because you'll figure it out within 10 minutes of the movie happening. Anyway, it's about a kid goes missing. A 13-year-old kid goes missing in where was it, Texas or something?
Oh, I remember this story.
Yeah,
Yeah,
somewhere in the States, and then kid's not found for like 3 years, And then later, they go, oh, we found your kid. He's in Spain. And it turns out what it was is, no, of course it's not their kid who's in Spain. Their kid's been killed or whatever, lost. It's actually a 28-year-old Spanish man, or a French man, a French Armenian or something guy who's just like, yeah, you know what? I'm your kid now. And he shows up like he dyes his hair and stuff. He still has a French accent, which is the most unbelievable part of all of it. And he's like, yeah, I'm your kid. And they go, yeah, you're our kid.
Actually,
Well, they were just so grief-stricken that they're like, whatever, he looks like our kid, he can act like our kid, we're just going to pretend that
And
he's
there's
our
more
kid.
to it than that, which means it is
So just
actually
lots of
worth
denial.
watching, and it's really, really, really
Yeah.
well made. And so it's cool.
I also just started
That's
watching
crazy.
The Thin Blue Line, which is another case of like it's on Netflix, and it's another one about like false
Yeah.
police, whatever.
False police.
False police.
I hate
like
those false
false
toads.
toads.
Yeah,
Actually,
false
if,
toads,
if you
false
go on
toads.
the Criterion Collection thing that we have access to,
Yeah.
Criterion On Demand or whatever, watch Stories We Tell. It's a Canadian
Yeah, I know
documentary
that
from, like,
one's
2012.
yeah, that's
So good.
what's
Sarah Posey.
Sarah Polly. Sarah Polly. Yeah, that's pretty recent.
Polly.
one.
Also,
That
remind
was
me to
really
tell you
one
the
of the
cop
6
story I
Canadian
have
news.
after this. I can't tell it on here, but it's the funniest cop story I've heard. So it's good.
Did I tell you guys about the guy bleeding on me on the bus? Was that?
Oh,
You mean
yeah.
recently?
Yeah.
No, I don't
No,
think so.
what?
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
I'm not
I can't
going.
wait.
Anyway, that's good to
That's
know.
it for guys. Wrap it up. No,
Yeah.
no. This is weird. Yeah, public transport is not fun.
No.
Yeah, I've
I've
had
got
it
a
for the
train
last. I've had
story.
it for
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the last week or so because my car's been dumb.
Yeah, it's
Dumb.
bad.
It's bad. It
Uh,
makes me not take my car for granted anymore. I think that's important.
So every morning I take, I guess on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I take the same bus, and it's usually the same people on the bus, right? It's like that kind of thing, and it's just a very minimal amount of people. It's me, and it's like black gangster dude who I sometimes talk to who's kind of chill, and then there's like this other girl who's in the far right, and that's we always sit at the back. I don't know why. It's just like
Because you're cool.
people get
These are the
routines,
boys.
right? So
We the
I go
boys.
sit there, and we leave our main destination, and we get to the second like transport station, and this guy gets on, and I'm listening to my music, looking out the window, and this guy gets on, and I can see like someone kind of like, you know, like gangster walking. You know, there's just like
This is how gangsters
You know how
walk.
gangsters walk. They're just like this, down. There's like this loud music going on. Right, so he comes in, and I can't really see him, and I kind of get a glance of him, and he goes to the big black gangster, and he goes like move over to the side, and the guy in the middle just kind of goes like, and he kind of shuffles a bit. So now there's 5 seats, but there's 4 people on them, and these 2 guys are sitting with their ass cracks between 2 seats, which I think is weird. It's uncomfortable to sit like that. So this guy beside me kind of looks at me like, right, and I'm like, what the hell, right? So I put my music back in, and I'm just looking out the window, and so what's going on. I kind of hear like a little noise, and I was like, oh, okay, take out my headphone just to listen. And I hear like this guy, and I kind of look over at him, and he's talking to the girl in the corner now, and he's like, long bus ride, eh? Like that kind of thing, and I'm like, oh
You
god.
come here often.
Right, you come here often. So I'm like, and she literally, she doesn't say she doesn't say anything to him, right? And he just kind of like looks back around. But then I realize, I look, and he's sitting in a position where, you know, there's the back of the bus, and then there's 2 seats that look at each other.
Yeah.
Right. He has his foot up on one of the seats, so he's almost boxing the girl in the corner.
Oh, no.
So it's kind of like a weird posture
That's
thing,
fucking
right?
nuts.
So I noticed this, and this is near the LRT station that we're gonna end up having to be at, like getting off at. And I kind of look over and I'm like, okay. And we're about like 8 or so minutes away, and I'm sitting there and I'm kind of like, this is kind of weird. And then I look over again, and like literally like 30 seconds after this conversation, this guy's already nodding off, so he's sleeping. He's going like, right, and he's sleeping, and I'm like, okay, this is really weird. And he's still sleeping with that position where his legs like up on the fucking,
no.
which is like really uncomfortable if you think about it.
Yeah, that would
so
be.
he's nodding off.
Plus, he's
and I
also
look,
sitting with his butt like at the peak between
yeah, he's
two
got
seats,
a
right?
he's got a peaked butt, and
Because
he's
the
got an
seats-
upraised
Yeah,
leg.
because the seats in the back they go like.
Like-
Yeah.
And this is like 8:45 a.m. And this guy, like, I don't know what's going on, why he's up at this time. So now he's sleeping at this time. So he's nodding off,
He's not up.
and it gets to a point where we're like taking turns to like go to different.
Drive the bus?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
You guys drive the bus now?
So the bus is driving, right? So,
Swerve on that one.
Smarty.
okay, so we take like a wide turn, and he kind of like falls onto the big black dude. So he like falls in his lap. So he's like, right, and immediately like the second he goes down, the black dude just fucking throws it. Like he does like a It's like he does like this. He throws him like this. So he goes like boom, and then just walks, like he just like rushes to the door of the bus and just stands there. At the
So
door
he
of the
pulls
bus.
one of these.
Yeah, he pulls like a boom. Yeah, fuck off, like a fuck off.
enough.
Right, not like I'm gonna like fight
Yeah,
you, but just
no,
like
just,
I'm
I'm out.
yourself, right? And then, so, but the thing is, when he throws the guy, and we're like about 2 minutes away from the destination we gotta be at, I'll just say Southgate. So Southgate, that's where it is.
Whatever.
Yeah, who the
I
fuck
know,
knows,
it's just
right?
fun.
So it's hard saying the destination.
I'll just say it,
that we
guys.
will arrive at.
Whatever you wanted me to say.
Yeah, so Southgate, whatever, right? And the thing is, when he throws the guy then like goes up like this, right? And he's still sleeping after being thrown like that, and then he just starts like slowly going towards the girl, right? And he's still like this guy isn't like he's an asshole, but he's not maliciously trying to like sleep on the girl. This guy's fucking knocked out. Like he's like straight up like doing this, and he kind of like he doesn't fall on the girl, but he like rests on her shoulder like this, and he's sleeping, right? And I look over, and the girl's like she's laughing, she's going like.
I don't know.
What the fuck,
It's
right?
ridiculous.
Right? And then we pull right into Southgate, right? So I get up and I'm like, I look and I realize that like I heard a thud earlier in the bus ride. The guy had dropped his like really expensive like Armani looking watch or whatever right on the ground. So I immediately grab it, pick it up, and get off the bus. Right, give it to my black boy, and then no, I meant to say my boy, but then I said black
Boy, we knew what you meant. You just did it wrong.
Oh, we know what you mean now.
You
You gotta grow out the mustache black. Well, I say,
I gave it to my boy Toby.
fight to the death.
I say, boy, get over here and take this watch for me.
I kunta.
Exactly, right?
King Kunta. Okay, so.
What'd you call him?
King Kunta. King Kunta. No,
Yeah.
yeah. I know, but Kunta's good.
Okay, continue.
Yeah. So, he's falling on the girl, right? I get up, and I'm like, hey, dude. I start shaking him, and I'm like, hey, dude, you gotta get up. People have to get off the bus. And he's like, still like sleeping, and he kind of gets up, and I'm like, and he moves, he gets up a little bit, and at this point, the girl just like gets out of there, right? And then he's like, I'm like, and dude, this is your watch. And he's like, no. I was like, this is your watch. He's like, nah, dude. No. And I was like, you have to take your watch. And he's like, what do you mean? Like, he's like, no, that's not my watch. And I was like, okay. And then he like falls back asleep. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna put this watch in your pocket because when you get up out of this state, you gotta realize what's going on. Like, you're gonna miss your watch. And then I kind of get a good look of his face, and this I didn't. Well, I guess I got to look a little bit earlier because I only saw the left side of his face. No. I only saw the left side of his face. I look, and I kind of realized the reason that my friend had thrown him up because he's got his lip is the size of like my fist, so it's like he and it's cut and it's blood all down his like it's dried too. So he's been up having a long night after a long fight. Or a short fight after this. So he's got like blood all the way down his like neck, like all this kind of thing. And I was like, oh shit, dude. So I put the watch in his pocket and I'm like, all right, man. I just leave him on the bus. And I think it's the last stop on the bus too, either way. And I start walking off and he's like, yo, thanks, man. And I was like, holy shit. Public transport's great.
So wait, he bled on you or not?
No, he didn't bleed on me.
You said
I
I
didn't say almost bled on me. Not bled on me. I think it's a cooler title.
See, now I don't want, and I wish I hadn't heard the story.
Yeah, it was a waste of time.
He bled on me, right? And
Whoa,
then, like, and then me and my boy,
Black boy.
we showed him to Candyland.
I had an interesting train story the other day, much more simple and goofy than this. I got on the train, and there was just a guy standing there, I don't know, just an average-looking white guy about our age, headphones in, and I could just, like, he pulls out his phone, and I could just see him grooving to music a little bit, and the train stops, and now it's quiet, and I can just hear it because it's really loud through his headphones. He was listening to some arrangement, I can't remember what song it was, but with all air horns, like the brr, and so it was like as if it was like Happy Birthday or whatever, it's going brr, 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 brr. Like whatever his song was, it's just all air horns.
That guy's a dank memer.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Shit, memer to the core.
Just so dank on that bus. It's crazy, or train, yeah.
His memory is like refined to like he only listens to he only like consumes like things in meme form.
they have to be
so
all
he
memes.
has all
Meme
things
songs?
converted into memes.
Yeah.
It's probably like never gonna give you up in air horns.
I haven't had anything cool happen to me on public transit.
You
since,
haven't had
like,
anything
2
cool
years.
happen to you.
No, I really haven't.
I haven't
No,
been on
like
the train
two
in a while,
years
so.
ago at Halloween, there was drunk dudes who tried to give like a baby or a toddler like a nickel because they thought his costume was cool. And they're like, here you go. And the mom
so
was like,
funny.
the mom was like hella pissed. She was like, you can't give a baby a coin, and like threw it back at them and then left. But it was funny because the
Babies don't understand
the
finance.
baby was a bee and the mom was a devil, and they were
Oh,
yelling
the
at
baby.
people.
You're like grading the baby, like baby. Her body was a
Probably a
C.
B. Yeah,
Face
B
is
at
being
best.
very
B minus,
minus.
B plus, yeah.
Oh,
Maybe it was a B overall.
Yeah.
Mom was a
Didn't
straight
deserve a
10.
nickel, maybe a penny.
Yeah. What are you doing,
I
Connor?
got my phone.
Dropped it
I had to
today.
take my.
I'm listening,
my
don't
Do
worry.
you want us to
controller
move
dongle.
so you
Yeah, I
can
got
It's
on
okay.
the couch?
Yeah.
or-
I'll find it.
Today?
Yeah, it came today.
Sorry,
What came today?
Or well, actually, I suppose it could have came yesterday.
I don't know
and
where
didn't
it
check
went.
yesterday, so. It's just
Is
not
it in the cushion?
so
No,
far.
it's like
We'll find
it fell and I kicked
We'll
it.
wait like 5
Oh,
minutes.
wow.
It might be behind.
just-
Is that right there?
That's okay. What?
Oh, there's a phone right there.
Yeah, that's that one right there.
Wait, is
Mine
it this
now.
right here?
That was
Are you
that
sure
one
it's
right
yours? I
there.
think it was mine,
Oh, it's on camera proof, guys.
No.
They've all looked.
No.
Come on, I'm coming, boys. Boy.
You didn't know that you were actually.
I can't even see your face.
Muhammad Ali,
Oh my
man.
God.
Did you?
Hey, that's
Dance like a
offensive.
stripper.
Just because he has Parkinson's, you're gonna make fun of Muhammad Ali.
Isn't he dead?
No.
What?
What?
No.
No.
Muhammad Ali?
Who's
I thought he was
that?
dead.
Muhammad
What?
Ali's
No,
alive.
Muhammad Ali's the
I thought he was
man.
dead.
No, who's the dead famous boxer? Isn't there?
Like a lot of them, but Muhammad Ali's alive.
Is Frazier dead?
That's a show.
Frazier? I don't think so. No, I think Frazier's alive. George Foreman's alive.
I swear there's some like hella famous boxer who's dead.
Mike Tyson?
George Foreman. He got killed in a horrible grill accident. One of his
But
own
no, did you
products.
ever have? You guys must have had friends who got like way too
I had
into
friends.
this thing. Ah, you looked. But no,
I
like,
do have friends who are way too into it.
there were people who did like took it like so seriously, and there was like you could block, and if you like put your finger in it, it
No,
was
that's
like,
important. That's
it
an
doesn't
important part to
count.
it. No, you get to punch them because otherwise people are just like, oh my god, look at this, look, and they just sit there like an idiot, being like, come on, and then you're not allowed to look, so then you can just go poke, and then they're just like, you know. So yeah, it's an important
I know all
component.
about
Junior high kids are stupid.
Yeah.
I would never.
You were
do that.
bullied.
Yeah, I know all about that.
Yeah.
I used to play Nutcracker.
Yeah, the people who
with
said
Skywalker.
lighthouse doorknob to you and then punched you.
Yeah.
That was one of them.
That's my favorite thing ever. Lighthouse
Yeah,
doorknob.
you know, bullying is hilarious.
Lighthouse doorknob.
Yeah, they're getting punched by like 6 people at once. That's hilarious.
Do that up.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I was
Number one, here's how to not get bullied. Number one, be cool. Number two, be the bully instead, because that's much more
Yeah,
fun.
that's true. That's a good deterrent.
Number three, find a lighthouse doorknob, idiot. Like, there's no more bullying. That's what we should do.
Bully
Bullying-
some people.
Yeah, bully some people. But no, anti-bullying campaigns. You know how they're like
Be
they
the
got
bully.
stickers and they have cool shirts and stuff.
Punch them.
All you need to do is just have lighthouse doorknobs everywhere. There's no longer any bullying because kids just touch the lighthouse doorknobs.
I don't get this joke. You
Yeah, don't
know?
worry
No,
about it.
remember doorknob? Do you remember doorknob?
No!
It's like
When you
doorknob.
fart,
and
doorknob.
You punch them until they touch a doorknob.
Oh.
People told Connor, lighthouse doorknob. And it's like, ooh, lighthouse doorknob, so I can punch you forever, basically, or until I get.
Which is
until I
like
get
a really
bullied.
horrible thing to do. Like,
I
So
can
just
punch
leave lighthouse
you
doorknobs
yeah,
all over the
exactly.
place.
We're playing this game whether you like it or not.
for eternity.
And
I
you
will
have to
punch
go
you.
find a lighthouse, even though we live thousands of miles from any lighthouse.
Yeah. So it's good.
You know what's crazy? I've told the story before about how I found a coconut in the North Saskatchewan River, which is very weird. I have
Maybe
it
the
at home
coconut
still.
found you.
Whoa! But no, my mom was walking the dogs at the river valley again, and she texted me and was like, I found another coconut! Where did these coconuts come from?
We live downstream from
From the
the
coconut
Caribbean. The Caribbean river
Yeah.
goes like really far up to us.
It just reminds me of my butt poke story. I was just like, well, that was weird, but that'll never happen again. And then, whoa, what?
I don't know the book.
Did I not? What,
Yeah, you told that one.
I
Yeah,
definitely
we
told
were-
that because I was
yeah,
sitting
yeah.
around a round table and Connor talked mad trash because I said the round table was round. And we were sitting on stools, which are stools.
I mean, you did Maddie.
You
the
said
Oh,
story
I
up
madded
there,
the hell
man.
out of the start of it. But yeah.
Speaking of random things that happen at bars, I was opening pool with my buddy, and this is the drug dealer guy I was telling you guys about. Remember the drives a Lexus and shit? Okay, whatever.
Vaguely,
One of my friends is
but-
a drug dealer, and he always has
that on
increasingly
camera.
more phones.
What's his name?
I'm not gonna say that.
Speaking to the people.
But he always has more phones every time I see him. So we went out one time, he's got the one phone, right? The next time we come, he's got 2. And this time we go out, he's like, yo, man, I got another phone. Pulls out 5 phones and puts them on the table. And I was like, why do you have 5 phones? He's like, lots of clients. I was like, we're playing pool, and he's like talking on like all these different phones. And I was like, Like, man.
Sell, buy,
Yeah,
sell,
like,
buy.
pretty much. He was like, yo, meet me here, I'm coming. I was like, you're not gonna go meet those people. He's like, nah, man. I was like, you're terrible. And he's like,
bad drug
and he's like, no. They're gonna come here. And I was like, don't bring them here. We're hanging out. And he's like, no, it's cool. And I was like, fuck.
Cool.
There's like 5
Shouldn't
phones.
he want to go to do them? Because if he's a drug
Yeah,
dealer,
but then he just like call his other people like, yo, go there, and then they're.
I don't think he's a drug dealer. I think he's a drug haver. He just has them. He just doesn't give them to anybody. And a phone haver.
Well,
Yeah, he's
or
a phone dealer now.
Yeah.
Oh, he's getting those phones.
evolving.
He's with the Filipino phone boys.
Filipino phone boys.
But and like the bartender or the waitress would come over and she like always look at the table because there's 5 phones and she always like give a weird look and like and it was like.
Well, speaking of having a lot of phones, we've talked before about our friend from high school
weird guy.
who had a phone for music, a phone for
fuck
phone,
him.
and a phone for apps.
Yeah,
And
in
it's like
games.
I was thinking about
Yeah, big guy.
Yep. But
Yeah.
it's like I've been thinking about like has
I thought you were
anyone-
talking about Matt.
people
No.
want. Does he have a lot of phones?
He definitely had something like that.
What a
It's
weirdo!
two.
But
He has
like,
a lot of headphones and a lot of other weird
you know how
stuff.
like
Lot
the
of
the
head.
Powerball like $1 billion ticket or whatever?
Yeah.
I was thinking of like what's the most affluent thing I could do if I won the lottery? What's the first thing I would do? I think I would probably buy phones.
Yeah.
Like
Just
just to have,
lots of
just to
phones.
have
Yeah.
like phones for each different thing. I think I would probably do that.
Or cars for each thing.
No, I don't want
Like a
lots of
car
cars.
to
I don't want
drive
That-
to your
that's-
mailbox.
It seems like
And
I
a
don't know.
car
Cars
park.
I
is
would
like a
buy
lot of
people.
work.
Boy, you buy the
No, I'd buy white people.
That's my boy.
That's not
true.
racist.
Yeah, it's much better.
Yeah, they're better. No, I'm just kidding.
White people make better slaves too.
White people be like,
Might be like, this is hard. I don't want to do this
Man.
anymore.
I'd rather be an accountant.
Exactly. Exactly.
Speaking of club stories, I just remembered another one.
Because you beat white people with cars.
This is actually about beating as well. There was some song came on about butts, and you know, people love their butts.
Yep.
Have you heard?
You don't gotta tell me
I
twice.
heard. I know about it.
Yep.
You have to
you
tell
know
me
all
twice,
about it. I do.
Yeah, you do have to tell me twice.
I'm gonna Jay Leno this. Now, Alex, you heard about these butts? People love their butts. Like, yeah, that's a really bad Jay
That's
Leno.
it. I was like, who the fuck is that?
People love their
butts.
That's what Jay Leno
That was
does.
better. That was
Thanks, yeah. But no, people love butts, and any song involving butts. I don't know if it was Anaconda or Baby Got Back or whatever. Bubble Butt. There's a lot of butt
Shawty wanna
songs.
fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one of
yeah,
those.
yeah.
That would be
Oh
so
my god!
cool.
Could you go to karaoke? Not like a lot, but like sometimes. Have you ever tried to see if they have "Shawty Wanna Fuck"?
That's not even a
never
song,
have.
really.
It's on.
It's
there.
already
It's
got
on
the words under it.
I mean, maybe some of them have like pull off stuff with YouTube.
No.
It's not what karaoke
No, they
is.
would. No.
Isn't it?
No.
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 I mean, it's got like
No.
closed captioning.
No.
If
No.
karaoke.
They have, like,
is
a
never
dialogue
cool enough.
of, like-
It would
All right,
be
if
great.
a dark
Like
machine
DJs,
exists,
like
then they might
DJs
have
for
"Shawty Wanna Fuck."
weddings might be able to play it,
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
but for karaoke, they're like machines.
Yes.
Right?
Whoa, machines. Sorry, go.
And
Anyway.
so, butt song is playing, and I'm drinking and having a good time, dancing around, all that stuff. And then some girl made some comment about my butt, like a sexist hoe.
What a sexist hoe!
That's what I was going for.
Yeah.
No, and so then, like, me being me, I'm like, yeah, here's my butt or whatever. I was like, yeah, just give it a slap or something. I don't think I said that. But then, oh no, I was getting a piggyback from my friend. That's what was happening. We were doing a piggyback
That
on the
is
dance floor.
vastly different
Yeah,
from what
I
you
just
were
remembered this is very
describing.
different. I was piggybacking him on the dance floor because he thought it was funny. And butt song was on, and then she was like, oh, that's a butt or whatever because my butt was there.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, this is my butt. She goes, turn around. So she flips so it's butt towards her. She ripped my pants down and like underwear too, and just goes boom. Like she got 2 solid slaps out, and she's going for a third, and she hits it. I'm just like, oh! Like I actually had to protect myself.
What
It was
the-
violent. And I get down. I'm like, what are you doing? And then she's like,
She's
now
like-
you do me.
She's like this.
Whoa! Connor's right
in the
there.
back,
Yeah.
like running to the smoke pit.
Yeah. Oh, it was weird, man. It was very
Real
bizarre.
shit. Real
Girls
shit.
can't keep their hands off your ass. Is what we're learning.
No one can. Like, have you
He
seen
can't
after
even-
the podcast?
He's just sitting on his hands.
They have.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. But no, yeah, it was just like, come on, how you gonna do that? How you gonna play me like that? So, yeah.
Cool.
Uh-huh.
Well done.
Damn. Well, we can
Thanks,
end it
man.
here.
Did you actually slap her ass though?
Bye.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, dude.
80 down,
Dig it
12 to
down.
go.
No, not